Yes, I've done it!
What did you do?
I finally finished the game, and I fit everything into the JSON.
Wow. Wait, you forgot to add the fishing minigame.
I'm sure the game will be fine. Greetings, my fellow Earthlings. It is I, Sir Lemonadey III Esquire, also known as Dan. Recently, I released a brand new video game, and this is one I've been working on for a very, very long time. Skrunkly Royale Turbo Executive Showdown, a roguelike fighting game with a bunch of silly characters. Now, if you've seen my channel before, you may know this is a sequel, but if you didn't, let me fill you in. In 2023, I made a fighting game called SRT, abbreviated of course, and it's a simple scratch fighting game with a story mode. Now, over the course of that year, I had actually been getting more and more into art and music, so in early 2024, I wanted to completely rework the game from the ground up. And over the next 2 years, I redrew, reanimated, and remade all the music in the game to look as nice as possible. Now, why would I do that for a scratch game instead of working on my actual projects? I don't know. Welcome to Behind the Burger. This is my series where I recap the many hassles of game development and showcase the behind the scenes of my games. Today's episode is on SRT, Executive Showdown. But before we get started, let me tell you about my sponsor, Phil. So it all started in February of 2024. Me and Legend were drawing funny characters on an artboard until we drew up a concept. This is then when we had the sweet idea of a roguelike game. Now, at the time, I've never actually played a single one. I'm not much of a gamer, so I kinda guessed. Given the golden opportunity of making a new update, this also meant we could replace some of the old characters with new ones, because some people are creeps. We continued planning and making concepts until June, and that's when development really took off. You may be wondering what happened from February to April, and that's just because at the time, we were working on selling our house and moving out. So I was moving around a lot of early 2024. And from April to May, we were super busy completing side quests, just straight up making another fighting game for fun, oops. With development properly starting, I completed 4 newcomers and had them fully implemented into the new engine. And that's just about when I got to work on the tower. Like I said earlier, at that point in time, I have never played a roguelike. So a lot of these upgrades are you kidding me? Who just wants stat boosts? I started to experiment with new mechanics and game modes to the engine. If you've played any other fighting game, like literally ever, then you might know about a super meter. I wanted to make my own take on this, which is how the fish meter was born. A mechanic that lets you supercharge moves, escape combos, and use cool finisher moves. By August, the game was essentially finished, but there's still one issue. It's not replayable, which is bad since it's a roguelike game. The entire point of roguelike is the replayability of it, so it was back to the drawing board. Okay, so 1. Nobody wants to play the same old game again. Outside of the tower, this was the exact same game released in 2023. 2. Nobody wants to just raise stats as gameplay. Cards needed to serve real purpose. And 3. Nobody wants to hear the same music over and over again. There were only like 5 new songs in the entire update. So, I was left at an impasse. Either I bite the bullet and just release the update, or I succumb to the scope creep and make an entirely new game. Well, you can tell which option I chose by judging the length of the video. So throughout September, I decided to redo the entire engine and design of the game. But first, the character designs. A lot of these characters are just my friends' OCs, which means a lot of them have that quirk to them. You couldn't tell anything about the characters from their designs, so I decided to design the characters around their moves, completely ignoring the owner's designs. This proved to be very worth it in the end. I mean, look at these. Some of these characters just look awesome now. Throughout the remainder of the year, SRT was on the back. This is because I got caught up making a web series, and also finally moving into an apartment. But I ended up finishing all the character animations and moves. Next up were the stages. These looked really out of place, so they also got the deluxe treatment. It was at the start of 2025 when we finally moved out of our old house. That also meant I was homeless for about a month. There was really no better time to get back to work, and that I did. Throughout February and March, development really took off. With the visuals of the game being mostly finished, the music was next on the chopping block. I had the rare opportunity to remake a game's entire soundtrack, and you know I was in that studio cooking. These new songs are seriously my best work. The character renders also got a fresh coat of paint. Now was the hard part, remaking the tower. At this point, my brother introduced me to a game called Balatro, and another game called Vampire Survivors. I finally understand what makes a good roguelike. The issue was, I put too much emphasis on the characters rather than the cards, even though your build is what makes a run unique. So I started over and remade every card to be unique and fun. You now had a loadout, so you had to really think if the card you took was worth the slot. Originally, there were only about 30 or so cards, but throughout the year, many more were added on. This is because during playtesting we'd have many really dumb ideas, ranging from dealing more damage to certain enemies, or cards like Santa will come to help. Halfway into the year, development slowed down once more, mainly because my web cartoon really took off, with most of my time being put into animating and editing videos. It was only until a huge drama happened that I was finally able to continue development on the game. I had to temporarily stop making my web series with allegations against one of my friends, so, yay, I guess? At the end of the year, I was too busy making animal singing rhythm games, so we have to skip to 2026. In the last weeks of development, we mainly just playtested and added the finishing touches, and on the 23rd of January, the game finally released. That makes 2 games released in a year. Hamburger Games is so back. Maybe, I don't know. One of my greatest achievements with this game is optimization. Keep in mind that this game was released on Scratch's main page, not exclusively TurboWarp. Basically, Scratch has a 5 megabyte limit on JSON size, or the code, so I managed to fit an entire full-size game without ever going over that minuscule limit. That's pretty crazy. In the future, I plan on making a video going over the various techniques you can use to optimize a Scratch project, but that's whenever I get around to it. You can play the game with the link in the description on either Scratch or itch.io. Thanks for watching my video. Now I have to decide what my next game will be. Oh, I know! Let's make a 5th Skrunkly game!
My fellow Americans, I got words to say again. Dropping lats and hanging chads, burning too much money to pay me bad. Listen, hey, being a top tier voted, I'll strike down. Oops, exploded. I'm not so democratic, cause the vote's very static. I wouldn't say I'm red, but the blood is red.